All right, shalom, brothers and sisters in the truth. I'm your brother Mawai Todawa. I'm coming to you again with another lesson, Lord willing. This will be edifying to those of you who are tuning in. And the title of this lesson today is, this is really a warning to you so-called Bahamians. This is a warning to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Yes, that is the country that is off the coast of Florida, which is situated here in Great Babylon, America. And this video is really going to go into talk about what's going on down there, what has been happening down there for the last 25 years, okay? Because obviously Esau has penetrated the culture and the society to an extent right now that this place is beyond wicked, okay? And I have some videos that's going to be, you're going to see playing along with this lesson to illustrate that wickedness that's going on down there. And you do have the prophets that are down there preaching this gospel and this truth for you hopefully let down there to repent, and you're ignoring it. But before I get started, I'd like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, double honor to the teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, also to you brothers who did that putting on this truth, faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep, and also you brothers and sisters that are tuning in, Shalom. So let's start off with the book of Jeremiah 4:22. And it says, "For my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children, and they have non-understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge." Now, a lot of you Bahamians, so-called Bahamians down there, you don't believe that you are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. Why? Because you've been basically ostracized. You've been basically ostracized from your heritage, which is that you are from the tribe of Israel, Yasharallah, okay? And instead, you've been given these doctrines, okay, by these pork chop eating pastors down there, and also Esau, great influence on that little country down there called the Bahamas, okay? Now, let me give you a background of the Bahamas here for those of you who don't know, and also even some of you so-called Bahamians down there don't probably even know your own little history. So I'm just gonna break it down a little bit. So the Bahamas gained independence in 1973 from the UK, which is the United Kingdom, Great Britain, okay? After that, it became independent. First prime minister was a gentleman named Sir Lyndon O'Pinlin. The government down there is a parliamentary government, meaning what? They wear the little bitch wigs on their head, and the robe, just like how they do out there in England. Okay, so the currency right now, which is the Bahamian dollar, is on par with the U.S. dollar, and on the currency, the face of that wicked devil bitch, Queen Elizabeth II. Is on the currency over there. So that tells you that the Bahamas, the so-called Bahamas, okay, is still being ruled over by the so-called white man. Okay, Great Britain is still ruling over. Okay, it has a population of a little bit over 400,000. Okay, with 80% of that population being so-called Negroes. Okay, and the rest are a mixture of these so-called Europeans and other races such as the Chinese, okay, the Moabites. So the Moabites have infiltrated them. We'll go into that a little bit further. It also depends on import. 99% of the country's subsidies is import. So it has no soil to grow any food. It doesn't have any industry, no manufacturers to do anything. Okay, the tourism and the banking is the main income for the country. It's somewhat like a Western Swiss banking system. Okay, although being friendly with the United States, they can still turn your account over to the United States anytime the United States asks for it. Okay, which they do because they know a lot of the people that they want to point fingers at and say you're a terrorist hide their money in the Bahamas. Okay, think of O.J. Simpson did that. Okay, and the rest is tourism. Now, this tourism, while this is a great thing for the Bahamas as far as it brings the financial system inside there, it gives people jobs and everything like that. It also is tied to heavy wickedness, and you can see that in this video that's playing, the heavy wickedness that it's tied with. Okay, for example, for this year, okay, 2 years after the so-called scandemic, the pandemic. Okay, what's the first thing they did? They did the greatest, LGBTQ cruise. Okay, and who sponsored that? Atlantis. Okay. That beautiful hotel down there that everybody likes is mesmerized by, sponsor that. Continuing on with some more information here. It partners with Poland. Okay, main partnership, Poland, believe it or not. China. Okay, China has heavy influence there. And also the US. Okay. It also has TV, satellite. The language is English. Okay. Now I grew up down there. I spent 1/3 of my life down there, growing up there as a kid. Okay, back in the 70s and 80s. So I know exactly what the Bahamas, the original Bahamas, was like, and the culture. And what you're seeing down there right now is just absurdity. Okay. It also has a 99% illiteracy rate. Okay, very educated population. Okay, and it has adopted the lifestyles of the dominant people that reside there now. Although 20% of the population is made up out of the so-called Chinese, the Europeans, and the other nations out there, yet still they control 99% of the wealth. Okay, and only 1% of the so-called Bahamians that control house any money. The ones those are in the government, and they take the bribes at the cost and expense of the lives of the people living down there. Okay, now you are Yasharala. Okay, you so-called Bahamians. In case you don't know that, you are the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, you are holy people, and you've been misled. Okay. Also, Chinese have been residing there since 2012 after they created, I think, a big hotel on there called, I can't remember the name of it, out there in Nassau. Okay, so now a lot of Chinese are residing there. I've seen videos on YouTube where Chinese are assaulting Bahamian people, and Bahamian people are filming it. So-called Bahamian people are filming it and do nothing. So these Moabites can come over there because they have $2 in their pocket. They get away with beating your ass down there. Okay, so that's telling you people are weak. Okay, you people are weak. You're looking. Your enemy has now taken over your land. Okay, and there's many of them. And it is an archipelago of 700 keys and islands. Okay, very close to the United States, which makes it what? A haven for a lot of very, very abominable acts that goes on. A lot of these presidents, a lot of these celebrities, they have little private islands in which they go down there and have sex with horses and donkeys and pigs and animals down there, and just a whole lot of other craziness that's going on down there. It is also the place where a lot of drugs are trafficked through. Now, let's go into the book of Leviticus. This is Leviticus 18 and 22, because one of the biggest sellout out there is that the so-called Bahamian government would sell that country to any country that comes out there, and they get their hands greased. Okay, so you have a vile, crooked, evil, wicked government down there that's ruling, because why? They're in hand with the enemy. This is Leviticus 18 and 22, and it says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination." Now, this is one of the many laws that's being broken down there. There was a time when I lived down there, a bati boy, as they're called, could never ever show themselves in public. Yes, so you now have entire societies down there with that. You have transgender down there with that. You have Esau right now, knowing the fact that you depend on tourist dollars, is now demanding that you accept this abomination down there. Okay, the women now don't wear dresses down there; they wear trousers. Okay, there's a lot of other heinous thing that's going on down there. Okay, you got murder increased down there. Okay, you have adultery; it's off the chain down there. Incest is off the chain. Okay, and so much so that it's out in the public. Now, you always had a degree of incest down there, but now it's off the chain. Why? These are with the access to cable and satellite television and being able to see, what goes on here in Great Babylon. It has influenced the so-called Bahamians. Okay, you Hebrew Israelites down there so much so. Okay, you have people walking and sagging down there. The women are whores. Okay, your government is so anxious to bow down to any type of mandate that the so-called white man put out there, and we see that going on there right now. People walking around 90-degree, 100-degree weather down there. Okay, with a damn diaper on their damn face. For what? For what? Okay, who brings the disease down there? The millions of doggone the so-called tourists. Okay, which is mainly makes up from North America. Okay, Great Babylon that comes down there. Okay, and live with all their vile fantasies. You can see it. Okay, entire cruises going down there. Okay, celebrating. I mean, imagine a ship with 20,000 of the most abominable people that you could ever place on this earth going down there. But this is what your government sold out. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to bring on the dietary plan. Okay, now it's a country that has what? A lot of water surrounding it. Okay, so guess what? Fish, seashells, shellfish is in abundance down there, and nobody follows a dietary plan. I can tell you, my grandmother was a huge woman. Why? Because all she used to feed us was doggone pork and pig feet. Pork chop. I try to talk to the so-called the relatives I have down there, a couple years ago about, the dietary plan like that, and they basically laughed me to scorn. Okay, let's go into the book of Ecclesiastes. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, 13. Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiastes 13, starting with verse 4, and it says, if thou be for his prophet, and whose prophet is thou going to be for? This is going to be for the so-called white man. Now I'm talking to all of you, or you so-called Bahamian people out there, okay? And in particular, this is referencing to your doggone government, okay? You parliamentary doggone niggas down there that is misleading the people, okay, and destroying, okay, Yasharala down there, the tribe of Benjamin down there. You're destroying your people, okay? Bowing down for what? Filthy lucre, okay? The American dollar, which is about to crash. Have you been looking at the doggone news lately? Have you seen what happened? What's happening to Japan? Japan trusted, okay, Esau. Okay, the Ammonites, they trusted Esau since 1945 at the conclusion of World War II. Now look what's going on with their society. Okay, they're about to face some serious judgment. But I'm going to read your judgment. Okay, this is verse 4, and it says, "If thou be for his prophet, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee." Now be prepared to be forsaken. Now you've seen in these videos what happens. You have a country that's in an archipelago, okay, susceptible to hurricanes, susceptible to tidal wave, okay, that can happen, okay. And so what? The only thing that you really got going is those nice, beautiful beaches where I saw that all your doggone feminine people can come down there and they can bask in there, okay. That's all you see down there, and you people don't even get to enjoy it because you don't make enough money down there. You're basically an entire country of slaves. Your leaders have not even come up with a way or a system or a way, okay, to take the 99% educated population, okay, and build industries down there. I don't blame it on the fact that the country has scattered islands and everything like that, because other countries have been able to do it. But you don't want to do it like that because you got dumb ass niggas that are sitting inside Parliament down there, okay, not doing anything. They just say, okay, let's just do tourists. Just do tourists. Hey, come over there. You're LGBTQ, we don't care. Just come down there and sit down. You take a bribe. Okay, and let the Moabites, the so-called Chinese, come down there and build stadiums, bring their people, their nasty ass people down there, them dogs down there, and now the YouTube video get those people doggone beating your people, and your people are doing nothing down there. You're doing nothing about it. In fact, I saw the video with a cop, the so-called Bahamian cop, walking there and actually took side of the doggone Moabite, so he can get himself a poo-poo platter. Okay, unbelievable, man. Okay, and it says, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for you. So they're plonking themselves down there. That independence in 1973 was nothing but a farce. Okay, why do you still have the face of the doggone of that witch on your doggone currency? Why do you still wear those robes? Okay, of those damn sodomites? Okay, why is your whole entire school system like that? Your metric system is all British. Okay. And you get them two little, you get those two little doggone them two little fairies there, them princesses who come down there. You know, they walking and looking at your little defense force. So they're as if like, you know, they're the chief, the commander in chief. Why the hell are they commander in chief? What have they done? Okay. Now what they've used is that trick called the Commonwealth. Okay, the British Commonwealth, and who's actually gotten the wealth? Only the so-called Edomite nations, only the so-called white nations. Okay. Like Australia is part of the Commonwealth. They got the wealth. Canada too. Okay? And many of those other countries, and I did a video like that before about that, and that probably went over a lot of people's head not understanding what the hell is going on. There's no Commonwealth for the dark-skinned nations, okay? Jamaica is also part of the Commonwealth. They're catching hell down there right now. Brother just did a video, okay, with the hell and the lack of food that's going on in Jamaica and what's going on down there. Okay? Now the Bahamas happens to be the wealthiest country in the Caribbean, the wealthiest, because it has a small population. The GDP is extremely high, and the dollar, the Bahamian dollar, is on par with the US dollar. But it also has a high level of unemployment and inflation. Okay, the product I just looked up, and the price of gasoline per gallon is $6.20, and the price of milk, and I hope that's a misprint, was $12 for a gallon of milk. Unbelievable. Okay, this is continuing here, and it says, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Now, the US, the Bahamian government has done what? Bow down to the US, okay, for everything. Why? You have the US Coast Guard that are circling around the island, okay? They set up their little research bases down there, okay? They have their people down there, dealing, working with the government and everything. Why? Because to them, this was to protect basically the U.S. coast from, Russia slipping in, because they realize that Russia was going to try to go and do exactly what they did in Cuba, okay, which is to try to get friendly and establish themselves in the Bahamas so that they can be closer to the United States to do that strike. Of course, right now, Russia don't need the Bahamas or Cuba or any of these countries anymore because they have a missile system, they have a nuclear capability that's hypersonic that can hit anywhere on this earth in a matter of under 30 minutes. And the U.S. can't do a damn thing about it. So they have no need for that anymore. Now, the U.S. has been using the Bahamas, and in particular the Bahamian people. I remember being down there, okay, and during the 70s and early 80s, okay, you go to private school, okay, yeah, my dad decided he would send me to private school down there. Like when you take a look at the yearbook, almost 80% of your classmates are doggone Edomites, okay? And let me tell you, that experience was not good. And I told him that, all right? But him, just like a lot of the doggone Hebrew Israelites, they worship the feet of the so-called white man. Okay, and even up to this doggone day in his age, he still looks at these people as if they doggone the God. Like it's unbelievable. So of course we cannot reconcile and actually talk. Okay, I refuse to be around a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, that doesn't have any type of hate for a man that has no problem cutting your throat, raping your wife, raping your kid, raping your son. Okay, feeding your babies to alligator, hanging us from trees. And most of all, and grievous of all, has hung our king, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, from a tree and humiliated him. And then turn around and paint the pictures to make himself look like he is the doggone lords and the prophets of the Bible. Okay? I have a problem with that, and I have a problem with any doggone so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, okay, that don't have a problem with that. All right? This is a warning to you Bahamians here, because I'm giving out basically what the situation what I see going on down there, what I know, okay? And also this judgment that's going to be coming to you because people think that you're going to escape this judgment, okay? Now you're doing all these things like John Canoe, because you think you're African. You're doing Obeah. Obeah is like voodoo, okay? And the movie The Pirates of the Caribbean actually brought that out, okay? And that's why you see that picture there with that female with the dreadlocks here, okay? She was an Obeah prophet, okay? So you practice a lot of witchcraft down there. You practice a lot of homosexuality down there. You practice a lot of adultery down there. There's a lot of murder, thieving, okay? And the dietary plan is definitely not followed. Just go YouTube what they eat down there. And they don't care. The prophets are down there, so you have no doggone excuse. I put the video, as you can see, attached to this video that you're watching, okay? You have GMS, Bahamas Bar down there, okay? The prophets are down there on several of the islands, okay? And you also had, even IUIC went down there many, many years ago. Okay, now while they use the word, Christ and Jesus and all that stuff, which we don't use, which are a spit on that shit, that damn name, okay? At least they went down there to let everybody know that they were Hebrew Israelites and turned it from their ways, okay? And they were laughed at. They were scorned and laughed at. I watched that video, okay, how they put them on the Bahamian television, and they scorned and laughed at them because why? The niggas down there, they have a nigger mentality down there, okay? Esau's got them lost, okay? Esau's got them lost because when you are in that constant service, okay, when you have an industry when you have your own main income is tourism, which means what? You have to serve and clean the shit of the so-called white man, okay? As they come down there on the planes or the boatloads, okay? Then you will have a constant servant mentality, and they can't see past that because the entire government has actually made the entire people, doesn't matter what level of education you got, made them all into servants. That's why when they ask me, hey, you're going to come back down here for what? For what? Huh? This is Ecclesiastes 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Okay? Now, let me understand this. The so-called Bahamian population down there, okay, were the ex-slaves that came down there, okay, that escaped from the United States, okay, during the time of slavery, those who went down there, and also some of when slavery was abolished in the United States, those slave owners went down. Some of them went down there and took their people, their slaves with them, okay, and that's why you see everybody down there has the name of their slaves, okay. Their name is like Jones, Roll, okay, Penniman, those kind of things like that. They have the name of their slaves, okay. And it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. So this white man, the so-called white man that's living down there, that 20% is down there, okay? And you get the Moabites down there too. See, they know fools when they see them, okay? You're still under the impression they enslaved us, okay? Them so-called Chinese, them gooks, they had us in chain. They enslaved us. And the so-called white man now that's down there. Now, if you look in that video, now the opening up of the intro to the Bahamas, who did you see in a lot of those positions there? You saw a lot of damn Edomites, because a lot of Edomites own all of they own all the hotels, they own all the restaurants down there, even though the tourists come down there. They own all the businesses down there. The only thing that the so-called Bahamian people do is they work the menial level job, and their oppressor is usually their supervisor. I think the Bahamian government came out and said, well, we now need to have, a supervisor be a Bahamian person in order for you to set up a business down there. And they allowed all these people to come down there. So you only need $1 million to go down there and set up a business and like that. And you have to hire Bahamian people to do any type of labor work and all that stuff like that. So no thinking. Your leaders are retarded, absolutely retarded. No type of leadership. Okay? Continuing here, and it says, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh with wild beasts? Okay, so the Bahamian government have laid in bed with the United States government, okay, and also with the Chinese government. Okay, so now they own all of the land down there. The Bahamian people absolutely don't have a damn thing. So when they say jump, nigga, jump, they had to jump. And that is a fact. Okay? And you people have no clue of what is about to come, because your wickedness that you do, which mirrors what's going on here in Great Babylon, and you don't take heed or warning from the prophets that are set up down there by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, okay, it's going to be significant. And the Bahamas does not have the room to deal with the kind of judgment that's going to be coming to it, and we're going to get into those judgment, okay? So you celebrate something called Emancipation Day down there. So I mean, what? That means we were in slavery. Now, who actually been in slavery and were brought back to Sodom and Egypt, and who were brought back to a land where they don't know and a language they don't speak? We happen to somehow speak English, right? So that means that you people, believe it or not, okay, are the true biblical Hebrews of the Bible. You are Yashrada, the tribe of Israel. You are the tribe of Benjamin. Okay? Cut the Baptist church bullshit, the Anglican crap bullshit. Cut out the junk canoe. Stop following the diet plan. Stop doggone sorceries. Okay? Stop obeah nonsense. Stop the murder. Stop the thievery. Stop the adultery. And you need to turn back to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You need to start taking the heed. There is great judgment that's coming for you. Okay? And that's the reason why you're right now, we are still living in Deuteronomy 28, okay? We are still living in Deuteronomy 28. Let's go into the book of, this is the book of Deuteronomy 28, and this is verse 64, and it says, and the Lord, Yahweh Shemai Shai, shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. And that's the reason why we happen to be serving other gods during those times. But now we're in the end of our we're getting near the end of our captivity. Okay, and our redemption is drawing nigh. Esau is falling. There's no reason for you to bow down to the British. There's no reason for you to bow down to the so-called white man. And you definitely shouldn't be bowing down to some cross-eyed, doggone Moabite. Okay? And it says, thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And that's why you see that junk canoe. What is that junk canoe? They actually had a junk canoe that was themed, okay, but welcoming the Chinese down there. Okay, you saw the one there with the Bruce Lee, okay? The theme would welcome in the Chinese down there. So they're big into this voodoo witchcraft, obeah, serving these other gods. All of that was basically exalting the so-called white man, and also these Moabites, the Chinese, okay? So you see them doing that, and the women look like whores, okay? And it says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest, but the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai shall give thee a trembling heart, and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. Okay, let's get realistic here. I lived down there, and I remember back in the 70s, 80s, okay? I mean, if you had Kentucky Fried Chicken, you were a big shot. I mean, people literally would ask you for the bone, okay? Because there was like only one Kentucky Fried Chicken down there. People would ask you for the bone. Hey, man, look here, man, let me lick the bone. Okay, man, I just want to lick the bone. I had friends, okay, who basically all they had to eat was white rice, okay, and lard on it. You know what lard is? Okay, lard is basically pig fat, okay? And that's all they had to eat. And 8 of them would sit down there trying to, whoever could eat the most, hey, you got the most. That's just how it worked, okay? And it says, and thy life shall be hanging in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have non-assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherein thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes thou shalt see. You know what? This is not only happening in Great Babylon to the tribe of Israel, okay? You so-called Native American, Latinos, and Negroes. This is happening to all the Caribbean islands where we all been scattered. And that's why we are catching hell everywhere. So I know a lot of the people in the Bahamas are catching hell, despite the fact that you have that video showing there with all these tourists on the sun. That's these Edomites, okay? That's these Edomites enjoying that stuff. And you people are just slaves. And your king, okay? Your wicked kings, okay, who's ruling parliament, your prime minister and his cabinet, okay, has messed with your mind and has made you people into doggone slaves. Not only slaves physically, but you're slaves in your mind, okay? And Esau is set up down there, and even though he's a minority population down there, he's somehow gotten you worshiping him, okay, and his doggone deities that he has, his gods, okay, and also his money, okay, gold, oil, and drugs, okay, and which he has on his dollar bill, which in God we trust, okay? And your leaders have put you to air. Let's go into the book of 2nd Ezra here, because let's talk about the judgments that's going to come. Because they all say, well, you know what, we're in a great place. Well, you've seen the hurricanes. Now, I put some pictures up there with the hurricane that took place, and there's multiple ones, but I put the last one that took place down there. And what you saw was a lot of these Edomites coming in their private planes, claiming that they were trying to help out and rescue. Now, that should have never happened, because if the so-called Bahamian government, okay, had a disaster recovery plan in place, then you should, and you have a lot of money that's coming from the tourists, okay, then you should be self-sufficient to rescue your own people. And yes, still you saw the patheticness of your Bahamian government. Absolute worthless niggas that are sitting down and just collecting money and bribery, okay, from the Moabites and the Edomites. Okay, they do nothing. They're absolutely useless to you because they're wicked, and they probably they might be tears. Okay, but they've done a great job of misleading the so-called Bahamian people into destruction, and that destruction is coming to you people. And a lot of you people are hungry down there. You're starving. You have no money. A lot of you are homeless. You're in thousands of dollars of debt. The average pay down there is what, $5 an hour, with milk costing $12 for a gallon. So how the hell can you live? I know. You're not telling me, I'm not just talking my ass. I lived down there for 1/3 of my doggone life. So I know if it was tough back then, it's much, much more tougher right now, because I do have communication. So this is a warning to you people here. This is the book of 2nd Ezra. While this is going to take place here, mainly in Babylon the Great, this is going to take place all over the world. Because why? There are cities all over the world. Now, y'all think of Nassau. Nassau is 8 miles wide and 11 miles long. So there's really not much way for y'all to go. And if anything happens in Nassau, the Bahamas is done. Okay, this is the book of 2nd Ezra 15, starting verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there should be sedition amongst men," which is disagreement. Okay, they think you're a jerk. I think you're a jerk. You think I'm a jerk. Okay, this is how your people are going to be splitting up down there. This is going to be all over the world. But I'm pointing out, since this lesson is a regard and a warning to you so-called Bahamians down there. This is regards to you. You will fight each other down there. You will take the guns down there, and you will do exactly what you've seen in the GTA video games and all the movies that you see that Esau puts out there. Okay, and for you and you little jakes down there that like to imitate, the hip hop and the gangster life. Okay, and it says, "For there should be sedition amongst men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their action shall stand in their power." And it continues on, and it says, "A man shall desire to go in a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid. Now listen to this very, very carefully, because there ain't much places for y'all to go down there. Okay, Freeport is pretty much destroyed from the last hurricane. Okay, you see the video there, and you see the pictures of what it looked like before, what it looked like after, and this is in Abaco. Okay, and we're not talking about the family islands, because they really don't have anything. Okay, after you then eat the crab, and after you already eat all of the pigeons and the sea grape and everything, what else do you have? Okay, remember, everything is imported to your doggone nations. Okay. And the so-called white man, Esau, is going to abandon you, because he can't save himself, and he has a judgment he has to deal with and contend with too. Because while this is going on down there, this is going to be going on over here too. This is verse 19. It says, man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Man, if a gallon of milk costs $12 right now, imagine what it's going to cost when this kicks off. There is not going to be any. They stopping all the shipping lanes that's coming right now. You think Esau is going to make the Bahamas exempt, or send some ships down there to go bring food, special food, or whatever case like that? No, he's going to make all the world bow down, starve them out, sit there while they sit down in their caves and laugh, okay, and have their drones flying all over the earth, watching this live on CNN, okay, as chaos breaks out, and then they're going to come up with the solution, and we know what the solution is, which is the mark of the beast, the MOTB, all right? And you will bow the same way you bow down to the doggone the previous mandate. Your Bahamian government made you bow down. Almost 60% of you bow down, okay, to that mandate. And I know Bahamian people like to eat, so you're going to bow down. Okay, those of you who are not part of the hopefully elect down there, those of you who refuse to listen to the words that's being taught by the prophets down there, you think it's a doggone joke. You're looking for Boxing Day, and you're looking for August Regatta and Christmas and all this other horse shit down there, and July 10th, which is your Independence Day. Not understanding the great judgment that's about to take place in that little tiny little doggone country that you're so proud of, the Bahamas, which you are basically a slave to these doggone obnoxious LGBTQ and Edomites and Moabites that are coming down there and taking advantage of you. They don't give a crap about you. But you all, I just read to you, okay, in 2nd Esdras, you are going to kill yourself. You're going to kill each other for food. And that's going to be very, very quick. You're doing it right now at a small scale. So imagine. So that is a judgment that's coming around there. And you women, okay, that like to be dressed like whores, you are going to pay a devastating price. And we know what that price is going to be. Do I need to remind you? Okay, this is the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke 21, verse 9, and it says, but when you shall hear of wars and commotion, be not terrified. Now, this is Yahushua speaking to his disciples. But this is also speaking to his servants, current servants right now. This is us, okay, who are serving him in truth and sincerity. Not be terrified, even though we are going to see this. Because the GMS Bahamas Bar and the hopefully leg down there that are heeding to this warning, they will see the terror that's going to be coming on in the Bahamas, but they will understand that they're not to be terrified. Okay? For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom is against kingdom. Trust me, those Edomites down there and those Moabites down there, they're going to have their little police force. The police force down there, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, they're going to fight for them. Okay? They're not going to be fighting for you. They're going to be fighting for them. Those Edomites and those Moabites are going to pay them with food to go and kill you. You are so-called Bahamians down there. Okay, that's what's going to go take place down there, because money talks, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all seen it down there, and it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence. Now I have the video, I have the rolling going on there with the tidal wave. You really don't want a tidal wave coming there. The Bahamas is very flat. All it takes is a 20-foot tidal wave to wipe out the Bahamas. That's it. Once Nassau is wiped out, the rest of the Bahamas dies with it. If Bay Street and Paradise Island is wiped out with a 20-foot tidal wave, okay, it's done. We saw what happened to Grand Bahama Island, okay, Lucaya. We saw what happened to Freeport. The Bahamas Princess never functioned afterward. The International Bazaar, the Princess Towers, okay, that place is a desolation right now, and it looks like desolation, okay. And the same thing right there. The only thing that's keeping the Bahamas afloat right now is Nassau, where all kinds of wickedness and grievous things is going on. Okay? I'll continue. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. So there is no help that's coming from the so-called white man. The so-called white man is going to be in his own perils here in Great Babylon. Okay. Now, many of these scriptures are really talking about the judgment that's going to be going on to Babylon, but it's also global too. Okay. And the judgment will start with the house of Israel. Okay. It will start with the tribe of Israel. Okay. And if you are not in that safety sanctuary, the house of David, knowing this truth, following this truth, believing in this truth, okay, and accept Yahweh Shai, okay, as the Redeemer, okay, the Savior, then you are in the world. And what did I read earlier about what takes place in the world? Woe unto them that's in the world, okay? Because you people are going to find out what hell is all about, okay? So I wanted to bring this out because I came across a video, you know, with 2022, you know, LGBTQ cruise to the Bahamas. And it's disturbing that the Bahamian government would actually allow something like that, allow a ship like that to actually park in its port. Okay. And I know what they've sold you people down there. They've sold you that this is tourism and all of that stuff. Have you seen that? That is disgusting and vile. Okay. And there is great judgment that's come to Babylon and everyone that is found, okay, basically attached or holding hands or joining hands, okay, with these Edomites, these Babylonians, and these wicked people on this earth. The sword are going to be thrust through them. Okay, roughly paraphrasing there. So I'm giving you this warning, and there are going to be others that's going to come out there. You seeing what these prophets look like that are down in the Bahamas? Nothing to look at. None of us are anything to look at. I advise all of you to start when you drive by, to stop by, park your car, okay, and go listen to this word. Because that is the only way you are going to escape this judgment. Look at your little country. You have no options. And Esau, okay, when he had come down there, okay, with his private planes to rescue you out of to say that they were rescuing people, okay, after the hurricane. Now there's 3,000 people missing, mostly kids, okay, mostly young females and young males, okay, under the age of 12 that are missing. What do you think they did with them? They stuffed them in the back of the plane and said, I'm going to give you a ride to Nassau or give you a ride to Miami. And then they're never seen again. Also, too, when all hell breaks loose, expect to see some of these Americans coming down there, okay? Expect to see people from Cuba jumping on boats trying to come down there to go spoil your goods too. Expect to see people from Jamaica jumping on boats or planes, private planes coming over there to try to spoil you. That's why it says nations against nations, okay? Because you're going to be trying to go to the next country, okay, to go grab their food. Okay, that's why the Haitians are leaving on risking their life trying to cross to get to the United States. So expect to see a lot of that too. So you're not going to only just be invaded from within, you're going to also get invaded from outside. Okay, but people who have the resource to get to your islands and go take whatever substance or whatever you have there. Okay, and the United States is not going to do anything for you. They can't, and they will not do anything for you. Okay, they will hold all of you hostage to bow down to the next coming mandate, which is the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is that chip that's going to go in your doggone hand if you want to eat and function. So Lord willing, you edified. There'll be a part 2 to this that's going to be coming out. I'd like to close it by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, also to you brothers who did not put on the truth faithfully, fearlessly, feeding the sheep, and also to you brothers and sisters that are tuning in. Shalom.